Hello there. As dawn broke on day 2, Confederate Brigadier made his move. In the woods, the dismounted cavalry and the infantry regiment both opened fire. The dismounted cavalry fired onto this unit of veterans. They're all veterans on the table at the moment, causing one loss of Ilan. The infantry regiment fired at the Union artillery, scored absolutely no hits at all, and this artillery unit had a charmed life because up the road the Confederate battery opened up with its first volley and it too failed to hit and counter battery fire. Over on the flank, this rebel infantry regiment opened fire on the Union troops in the wood, and they did score one hit, reducing Elan to 6. So I'll come back in a moment with the Confederate response, the Union response. In turn 2, the Union returned fire. This infantry fired onto the dismounted cavalry in the woods. They scored one hit, reducing their Elan from 4 to 3, and the artillery didn't engage in counter battery fire. It actually fired onto the Confederates infantry in the wood, scoring 2 hits. There was trees shattering all over the place there, so 2 hits on them. This infantry unit has moved slightly to bring him in range, so he wasn't able to fire on this occasion. Over here in the woods, the Union Infantry Regiment returned fire, but scored no hits. And over at the back of the hill, that cavalry regiment has now virtually reached the road behind the town, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. That's the end of turn 2. At the end of turn 4, I'll be rolling dice for both sides to see if they get any reinforcements. And Confederate reinforcements will be coming down that road, so it could get a little bit warm for those Union troops, or again they may set up some sort of roadblock or ambush, which we'll have to see. The Confederate dismounted cavalry fired again onto this Union infantry regiment, missed with a lot. However, I'll pull the dice there so I can remember. Yes. This infantry regiment fired over here, scoring 2 hits, reducing the Elan to 5. And for the second shot, again counter battery fire, and this time scored a hit, which has put that gun temporarily out of action. So there'll be no fire from that Union gun on the next turn. Over here in the factory yard, they opened fire and scored 2 hits on this Union Infantry Regiment, so the trees aren't proving to be a lot of help for it. So that's the end of turn 3. I'll come back with turn 4. Union returned fire. Infantry onto the dismounted cavalry, no hits at all. However, this infantry unit managed to score 2 hits on its opposite number. They have also managed now to rally the gun and turn it round ready for action on the next turn. Over across here, this time the infantry in the woods, the Union infantry, got off a fantastic volley and scored 3 hits, even allowing for the split fence in the way, giving some defence, so it's reduced that unit's Elan to 4. And more ominously for the Confederates, the Union cavalry is entering the town along their reinforcement road. And as it's now the end of turn 4 on day 2, I'm going to need to, where are we? Here it is. See if there's any reinforcements coming. So, talk about being prepared here. So let's roll the dice and see if anybody's going to get anything. Right, well, the Confederates have rolled a 6, so they're going to get a 4 infantry brigade. The Union have rolled a 2, which means they're going to get nothing, no reinforcements. So a full infantry brigade will be marching up that road at the beginning of turn 5. Turn 5, and the Confederate dismounted cavalry fired on this unit. I think they scored a hit. Yeah, I think they reduced their alarm by 1. I think it was on 6 before, so they scored a hit. Over here, this unit's now on 4. I think they scored a hit as well. Nobody fired on the artillery. Oh yes, the artillery over here, they fired on this infantry with absolutely no hits. And back in this firefight in the factory yard, another hit was scored on this Union infantry regiment, reducing it to 3. But more ominously for the Union is a fresh brigade of infantry is now marching up the road, and this cavalry are going to have to skedaddle sharpish, otherwise they're going to be caught between 2 forces. So we'll see what happens in the next turn. End of the Union turn 6, and the Confederate cavalry are a spent force now. They've suffered hits from this unit. The infantry unit is also now down to 2 elan. It suffered hits both from the artillery and from this Union regiment. But whether it's enough, I don't know, with this brigade coming onto the field. Over on the other firefight, fired, but there was no hits on this occasion. The Union cavalry skedaddled up the hill, so they're actually behind these weakened troops now. That could prove interesting, but we have got these 3 infantry regiments to be deployed in the next turn 7, which is the Confederates. The Confederates they decided to pull these spent units back into the woods out of range of these troops defending the bridge. Their artillery did engage for the 4th time in a counter-battery fire, but failed to score a hit. Across here in the factory yard, another hit was scored on this Union regiment, which is now making it very close to breaking. And of course, finally, the newly arrived Confederate brigade is fanning out, 2 moving through the town in this direction towards the bridge, and 1 dispatched up this hill maybe to try and catch this cavalry. Ideally in the next turn it would have been great if the cavalry could have attacked and destroyed one of these units, but that might be a bit detrimental to its health, and it might be wiser to skedaddle, but we'll see, because after the end of the next turn we'll be rolling again to see if there's any more reinforcements, and the Union are desperate for reinforcements, although at the bridge they've still got a cannon with 4 shots left. That unit's only down to 5 and this one's down to 4, so they have still got a defence of the initial objective, but of course we've got a lot coming on to face them, all fresh troops. These won't be veterans, these will have an elan of 6, these will just be regular troops. It was just the initial brigades that were veterans with an elan of 7 and shock and steady, so these boys won't have the rebel yell, they just have an elan of 6 and the standard troops. So we'll come back at the end of the next turn and see what happens. Right, as predicted, at the end of the Union turn, the Union cavalry saw sense as opposed to valour, and they have skedaddled, presumably coming back to try and join the troops at the bridge. The artillery tried counter-battery fire for its 3rd shot, but was unsuccessful. Nobody else was in range to fire, and this regiment has pulled back out of range of muskets. There's still a presence there, so he's still going to keep that regiment tied up, or that's the commander's hope, they can keep that regiment tied up. But with this lot all ready to move on, it's going to be interesting. But it's now at the end of turn 8, so it's time to roll for reinforcements again. So we'll see what happens on this occasion. The Union desperately needs some reinforcements. Well, they both rolled a 3. So that's 2 cavalry, 1 artillery. Right, okay. So the Union will get 2 cavalry and 1 artillery coming on the board the next time, but of course, so will the rebels. Oh dear. Right. I think I'll stop this video here now, because it's gone on for a fair while, and we'll come back to see what happens with the when the reinforcements arrive. So thanks for watching.